Hey everyone, today we are going to build using Jestor for creating a lead capture form for your CRM or for your company. Basically, we are going to show you how can you create this form in a way that you can use inside your website or other applications that you may have, internal processes, internal systems. We are going to show how to do this in Miro as an example, but ideally you would use the same the same tools for your website. And we are going to do this using AI and also a little bit of no code. So basically, the steps are going to be we are going to create a first version using AI. The second step is going to be customization. We're going to show you how you can customize and also create the fields that you want for your sales process. And the third step, it's going to be how can I use this form in a website, or in this case, you're going to show inside Miro. So, Cruz, I think that's everything that we're going to do today, correct?
Exactly. So the idea here is to, like you said, create a first version with AI. So basically, we're going to ask for the AI to build the form for us and the database that links to that form. And then afterwards, we're going to show you some things that you can do, like create new fields, customize the form further, and also some small secrets for, like, for example, creating a hidden attribution. So you know that, for example, it came from a specific part of your website or something like that. And afterwards, we're going to show you how to embed this in your website. Like Banak said, we're not going to do this in a website builder. Ideally, you can do that. We're going to show you guys in Miro, but surprisingly, it's basically the same process, right? If you're using a website builder like Squarespace, Wix, or something like this, they're going to have an embed component that you can use just like Miro. So the steps are going to be mostly the same. And if you're hosting your own website, like from the ground up, you're not using a no-code tool for your website, then you probably already have the expertise to understand what we're talking about. So you just have to copy the code that the platform gives you here and just paste in your website. But that's the general idea. So, Mike, if you could, I think I can put my screen on. Yeah, okay. Um, so the idea here is to create a form for you to use in your website, in yours, or you could link it in social media and so on. This form doesn't have to be embedded in your website. It also works as a standalone. You can send the link directly to people, and we're going to show you how to do that. But the first thing that we're going to do here is create the form, and we're going to create a very simple example. We can make it more complex as we go, but basically is what we're going to build here is a form for capturing leads. So maybe someone wants to hire your services. They want to ask you for a quote on some products. So you can create a form to give them a way to submit this in a organized fashion, right? So what we're going to do now is just ask for the AI to do this. There are a couple of ways to do that, but my favorite one is just clicking on this icon right here, this orange icon here. It's basically a create button, and it's going to bring this panel in which you can ask for the AI to build something for you, okay? So, for example, what I'm going to do right now is type just create a form for capturing leads. It should have fields for name, phone,
I would give it
email.
an industry or an example. For example, consultancy firm or agency, or just just to make it like yeah, like closer to reality. Yeah.
Cool. So just change here. So create a form for capturing leads in a marketing agency website. You should have fields for name, phone, email, description, I think, a briefing actually. And we're going to leave it like this. We're going to customize it further, but just to start, we're going to send this to the AI. So basically, this is going to start. There you go. You can see that the AI is building. There's this progress bar here. I don't have to wait for the AI to build stuff. I could keep using the platform. You could keep working in other processes here. And as soon as the AI stops building, there you go. There's this pop-up, this toast message here. And I just have to click here on open app.
Fernando, just Daniel said, streamline lead capture is vital for boosting engagement and efficiency. Just a shout out for Daniel that's also here with us.
Oh, cool. I can't see his comment, but thank you, Daniel. Okay, so you can see that the AI built the form. So basically, if I go back to home here, you're going to see, let me change it to kind of like a list view. It's going to create a folder here for the forms, right? So I'm going to open this. There you go. So this is the form that the AI has created. And if I click here on build, you can see that I can start customizing this form and even adding new components here to this page. But because this is a lead capture form and this is going to be embedded in my website, I don't need anything more than the form, right? So what I'm going to do here is edit. I'm going to customize this. The background is going to be white, and I'm going to disable page scrolling so the form is always on like full screen size, right?
One thing that's important is it's not only the form component that's going to be shared; it's everything inside the app. So in the app page, in this case, so make sure that you don't have anything that you don't want to share there. So, for example, Fernando is just deleting another block. There is no need for another block. If you only want to have a form, there's a single block that you need. That's a form block or a super form block, and you should also do as Fernando did, which is make it kind of full screen for the app page. Otherwise, when you have other devices or maybe smaller screens, it's not going to adapt as well as if you have everything on full screen like we're showing right now.
Exactly. So, but we're going to keep it very simple here. So one thing that I want to show you guys is that as soon as the AI finished building the form, it created this folder here, which is basically the form, which is this interface here, and a database of leads. And this is actually important because if I have a form, the form is sending data somewhere. In this case, inside Jestor, it's going to send to a table, to a database. So if I have a form, I must have a corresponding database here. And the AI already built this for us. So it's everything we need is right here, right? So we're going to start just customizing appearance. Then we're going to start customizing features here, some functionalities. So what I'm going to do here, like like Banak said, we've made this form like full size, and we can start customizing some other things, right? So for example, the first thing is that I can change here the title. So you don't want like for the form in your website to be called lead capture form. I think that's not very good, a good idea. It's kind of poor form to do that. So what we're going to do is give it a new name. For example, send us a message, or yeah, something like that. And you can see that it's changing this in real time, so you can see the changes you're making to the form as you go, right? For the description, Here you go. So submit your information to get started with our marketing services. So this is actually already a good description. So I'm going to leave this here. You can see that I can also like format the text. I could add emojis, icons here. So just so you guys can see this. So this is the first part of the form, and we can also add cover and logos. So for example, I'm just going to get like a logo here for a company, so you guys can see how it looks like. There you go. So I'm just going to copy an image here from Google, and I'm going to upload the logo here. So I got this from like Coca-Cola. There you go. So here's the logo, and we can also get an image for the cover here, and it's going to appear up top. So I'm going to copy an image just so you guys can see how this works as well. We don't have to leave it there. Just it's just an example. So you can see that we can start. I think I got the wrong type of image. Just let me download it. There you go. But let me see, maybe the image is corrupted. Oh no, there you go. So basically, I've uploaded a cover here, so I could have an image like something from my company or something that I think it looks cool, right? And before we start customizing the fields and the functionalities here, like I said, I'm going to start with the appearance. So I'm going to scroll all the way down. And what I'm going to do here is customize colors. So for example, I can change the background color of the form. So you can see here that I could change this bottom part. And I can also start customizing other parts here. So I can change the color of the button and also the color of the title here. So for example, I could leave it like all white, or I could have like this black part here. So we could keep customizing and changing colors and so on. Okay, so some other parts of the appearance that we can customize. I can hide the title. So you can see that I don't have to have a title if I don't want to. Usually you want to have a title here, but you have the option to disable this. This title scrolls with fields is important because you can see here that it's basically a behavior setting if I want to scroll the image as well, or if I want to leave the image always showing and then just scroll the bottom part. I recommend that you leave this on, so it's a little bit easier to navigate. And we can also
because
make
in your website, if you have like this scroll and also the scroll of your website, if you don't activate this option, that is weird for the user. Also, here we are adding the cover, logo, and everything else. But maybe if you want to just keep just to keep your website style and everything, then we suggest to use everything like just remove covers, logo, and have a transparent form, just to make sure that it's going to blend on your website. But depending on how you want this, on maybe it's a page, an entire page for creating a lead, then it would be more interesting to do like Fernando did. Maybe we could just add more stuff for a specific page and so on. But just as a comment, like it depends on how you want to make this, like how it's going to fit on this style of your website. Also, we can show later. You can change the font. So if you have a font that makes that it's closer to the font that you have on our website. Also, you can customize that.
Exactly. So the last options here is for having a smaller title here. So maybe you don't want this big message here. You could leave it a little bit smaller. And also you can change the width of the form. So this is the regular one. You could have a wider form, and then you can have like a super wide form, which it basically takes up the whole of the screen. This super wide option is better when you have a lot of fields side by side. I'm going to show you guys how you do this. So you could have like a lot of fields of boxes side to side. If you don't have a lot of fields, maybe it's better to have wide or regular, right? So I'm going to leave it as wide, for example. So I'm going to save this. And like Banak said, you can change the font of the app page itself. So I can click here on customize. And you can see that we have a default font here, Inter, but you can also change for other things. So you can change the options here. And maybe there's an option that looks a little bit more like the fonts that you use in your website, or something that aligns better with your own style. So you can change this as well. So let's leave it. Let's see. I'm going to leave this one regular. Okay. So there's more stuff that we can do for customizing, but now I want to get into the features themselves of the fields, of what I can do here, and some other types of functionalities like having fields side by side. So first of all, for capturing this lead, we have the name, we have the phone number, we have email, we have briefing. But one thing that we don't have yet is attribution, right? If someone fills this form and submits a lead, we're not going to know if it came from our website, if it came from LinkedIn, if it came from Instagram, if it came from anywhere else. And we can actually do this with parameters and a option field. So I'm going to create a new option field here. So I'm going to call this origin, and we're going to create some options here like website, LinkedIn, Instagram, and we could have as many options as we'd like here, right? So I'm going to create this one, and I'm also going to create another option field here for status. So I can have a new lead. I can have afterwards in contact, proposal, and won and lost. Or maybe I just had like qualified, disqualified, or something like that. You could have a different type of process here. So let's see if there's anything else. Yeah, for now, I'm going to leave this as is. Okay, so let's go back to the form. So one thing that some of you may have already noticed is that I can submit the form without typing in anything. That's because we didn't say that any of these fields were required, right? So let's activate the building mode. Let's edit the form. I'm just going to delete this dot block here, the title bar, and just leave the form, right? Okay, so I'm going to edit the form. And now what I'm going to do is go to name, and I can click on this edit icon here. And we can change the name of the field. Just in this form, it's not going to change in the database. And we can also add a description. So I could say type your full name or the name of your company. And then I can make this required. So there you go. And now you can see that I cannot send the form until I type in something here, right? So one other thing that I'm going to do is I have phone and email, right? And I'm going to add a block here. And what's a form block? A form block is something that it's not exactly a field, it's not a field for information, but it's something that it's going to change the functionality of the form. It may be something regarding appearance, it may be some different kind of functionality, it may be pagination, for example. So what I'm going to do here is create a block for inline. And what this is going to do is that if I sandwich the fields between these blocks, you can see now that phone and email are in the same line. So this is what the inline block does. And this is what I said before. We could do like 5 fields right next to each other. Then maybe you would like to have a form for full screen, right? So you could keep doing that. And one thing that I'm going to do is that I'm going to make both phone and email required. But I'm also going to do a condition here. So if someone types in the phone, they're not obligated. They are not required to type in the email. And if they type in the email, they're not required to type the phone, for example, right? So we have briefing, and this is also going to be required. And I'm going to give it a description. So tell us what services you're interested in and what are your main what are the main problems that you're facing currently. So I can do this, and there you go. Okay, so one thing that I'm going to do here before we keep going is creating that conditional, right? So right now, both phone and email are required, but maybe I don't want that. I just want one form of contact. So I'm going to create a condition here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to name this condition phone field. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make email optional when the phone number is not empty. And I'm also going to create a similar condition for email field. And what I'm going to do is make the phone optional, right, when the email is not empty. So let's save this for now. So you can see that the form looks like this, and I'm going to start typing something here. So you can see that we have both phone and email as required. There's this red star right next to the field name. So I'm going to type my email, and you can see that the phone is no longer required. So you can make conditions here. You could even make fields be shown or hidden based on conditions, right? So there's a lot of stuff that you can make here that could help you like guide the person in filling the form and making the form more like delightful to use instead of having like a bunch of information right from the get-go, and some of the information they don't even have to type, they don't even have to fill. It's all optional, right? So you could guide them through the process,
like increasing the chance that the person is going to fill out the information, because sometimes when you have like a form that's one field by each line, it's just too long, and then the person may give up. One thing that you could do here is pagination as well. So you could start with 1 or 2 questions, and the second page you have like 3 more, and then 1 more, and then it's something that helps because usually if they fill out the information on the first page, they usually don't give up on the next page. But if they have to put all the information at once, they just say like, oh, I'm not going to do this, just too much. And the same for like more than one field displaying there. And one thing that's nice, I don't know if in this example it will be interesting, but one way to make it easier is when instead of like selecting an option, you can just have like buttons. So instead, it's 1 click instead of 2. So it helps a lot. I don't know if in this case it makes sense, but we could also show them like how to do this in maybe this example or other example.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just going to submit this form. You can see that I didn't have to type the phone because I've already typed an email. So I'm going to submit this, and it's going to go here, right? So you can see that it has already come here. It's pretty fast, right? So this is already connected to this database, right? So we don't have origin or status yet. And also, one thing that I'm going to do is just to show you guys one thing that Bonnet said is I'm going to create a field here. It's going to be a rich text, and it's going to be tell us about yourself. There we go. So I'm just going to refresh the screen here, just so I can load this field in the form, right? So we have this field now, and we have origin, and we have like website, LinkedIn, Instagram, and we have status, which are basically the stages of the lead, right? So if we think about a lead in a form, when they send the form, they should probably go to the new stage, right? They should go to this first stage here. So that's what we're going to do right now. And let's activate the building mode. We're going to edit this form. And one thing that we're going to do is add the status field, and we're going to give it a predefined value of new. So you can see that when the person starts typing here on the form, this is already going to be pre-selected. But you're probably thinking, yeah, but I don't want the person to be able to change this, right? Change it to proposal, change it to want, and so on. So what we're going to do here is we're going to edit this, and we're going to hide this field. So this field is no longer going to be shown, but it's still going to be in effect, right? So for example, now I'm going to go with Banak. So I'm just going to type in some information here. There you go. And I'm going to submit this. And you guys are going to see that it's going to go here. I think my connection is a little bit slow. There you go. And it's sent to the new stage, right? So the stage is not appearing on the form. It's not being shown in the form, but the field is in effect here. So one other thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to keep editing this, and just to show you guys some other things, I'm going to add the tell us about yourself.
One thing that you could do this as well is, for example, if you have on your website different pages for different services that you provide, the same thing, you could just have the product pre-filled. You don't need to show it to your user client, and they don't need to just say again that they want that product. If they are in that specific page, probably they want that specific product or service. So you can also do for selecting products, attribution, as Fernando said, or selecting stages, as we just did.
Exactly. So what I'm going to do now is adding more blocks here, right? So I'm going to add a section block just so you guys can see what it looks like. So for example, about you. Tell us more about yourself. So this is going to be one of the sections, and just like the inline block, all I have to do is drag and drop here. So you can see that it's showing on the left side of the screen. So this is what it looks like. And one other block that I'm going to do here is new page. And I want a new page just below the tell us about yourself. So now the briefing is on the second page. So this is what Banak said before. You can do pagination, right? So now if I save this, what you're going to see, just I just having a slow connection here. But basically, if I can start doing this, so cruise again. So now I have to click on next, and I go to the next part of the form. You can see here, and then I can fill in the briefing. And when I click on submit, there you go. This page is also customizable, and I'm going to show you guys how it works. But you can see here that all the information is coming here, right? So, okay, let's customize a couple of other things before we show you guys this as a public form and embed it in a different platform like your website or in Miro. What we're going to do here is first we're going to customize the success page, and you can see that I can customize the message. This is the message that is going to be shown when the person submits the form. So for example, I can type in thanks for your interest in our services. I can change the button here for submitting. For example, get in touch. And I can also redirect people to a specific page. Like for example, you want that as soon as someone submits the form, you want them to go to the homepage of your website. You could do that. I would just have to paste the link here. But just to show you guys how this works, I'm going to go with these ones. And also, I can toggle on and off if I want people to be able to submit a lot of things in sequence, right? And one last thing here is that we have this form responses, which basically means if I leave this on, people who use the form can request for a copy of what they submitted. For a lead, I don't think that's necessary. But for example, if you had a form for like submitting refund requests or payment requests or something like this, maybe it's interesting to leave this on so people can have like proof that they submitted the request, right? But in this case, I'm just going to leave this off. And I'm going to click on save. And just to show you guys, so we have a new submission here. And the message here is customized, right? And we're also receiving everything here. So one last thing before we start, we make this public and embed this somewhere else. You guys can see that we have not used this origin part yet, right? So we're going to add this to the form, right? So add this origin, and some companies leave this like just like this, right? And you can also change the appearance here, right? So for example, we could have this, or we could have a drop-down menu, for example. I'm going to change this to a drop-down menu. So you can change the appearance here. And some companies leave this in the form. So the person has to select where they came from. But you don't have to leave this for the lead to fill out. Also because they can fill this out wrong, right? You can make this automatically through the URL. And I'm going to show you guys how this works in a minute. but it makes sense to show you guys after I publish this as a public form, so you guys can see this working. So I'm just going to leave this here right now. So let's imagine this is the form that I want, right? So if I use this, the person has to type in their name, their phone, or their email. They tell you a little bit about what their company does, and then later on they have to like type in the briefing and so on. So the form is ready, but one thing here is that it's not public yet. So you can see on up top here that this is a link for the platform. So if you share this with anyone, it's going to ask for the person to log in, and if they don't have access to your account, they're not going to be able to use the form. So what you want here is to click here on build and click here on public app. And what we're going to do here is this is going to create a public link and an embed code, and we're going to use both to show you guys how it works. But let's use the public link just so you guys can see how it works. So I'm opening this in a separate tab here. So now you can see the link is share.jestor.fun. So you can see that this is a public link. People don't have to be logged in to use this form. And you can see that it looks like this, right? And also you have some options for customization here. You don't have to show this bar up top, for example, so you can disable this. You can remove Jestor's brand here. So for example, I'm going to click here on save. And if I refresh this public form, you're going to see that it's going to reflect these options. So the bar vanished here. So this is the public form, right? And also just one important thing is that this works on mobile as well, right? So let me see here. Yeah. So if I emulate like a mobile view, so this is how it would look like, right? So the person could keep using the form and you will have like no trouble at all, right? Okay, so we have a public form, but one thing that we haven't done yet is this origin part, right? So the thing here is that I want this to be automatic, right? And we can do this through the URL through parameters, right? So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to make a test in this separate screen here because I'm not entirely sure if I remember how to do this, but I think I do. Origin and LinkedIn. I think we have this in our documentation as well. Yeah. I'll need the documentation here. So just a second. But I'm going to skip this for now, and I'm going to show you guys in Miro, just so we don't lose steam here. So, okay, we go back to public app, and you can see that we have this copy app embed code. So this is the one that you're going to use to put this form in your website, or put this in a Miro board or anywhere else where you can embed components, right? So we're going to do this in Miro, just to show you guys an example here. So this is Miro, and if we click here on embed, there's already a shortcut for that because it's very common for this to be done. And if you were using Squarespace, Wix, or anything to build your website, you would probably have a component for that as well. Embed iframe code, right? We're going to copy this, and we're going to just paste this here, right? So this is already the code that you need. So I'm going to click here on embed. And you guys are going to see that it's the form that we just built, right? So we can rearrange this, we could resize this, and anyway, there you go. So this is on Miro, right? This is not inside our platform. And you could do the same thing for your website as well. All you have to do is use the embed component and then go back to Jestor and copy this and paste. So this is all it takes. Pretty simple. You can do this in Squarespace, Wix, or any other platform that you're using for building your website. But I'm going to search in our documentation here of the parameters to use for the form. Don't know if you have anything to say, if you want us to show you anything else.
No, I think that's a lot already about the form and how can you use this on your website or any other external products. Sometimes what we see is customers that are more enterprise. Sometimes they have internal systems, and one way to do like some kind of integration that's of course not ideal, but they would just embed the form or embed the net page inside their systems. That's one way to just have access to Jestor. It's protected by their own login, so it's kind of secure. Um, but it's also a way to just collect information inside other platforms or systems that you may use. It's going to go directly to Jestor. So that's one way to use this. But the most common way is just on our website or sharing the link directly. So through SMS, WhatsApp, email, and so on. So the person can just type the information and get in touch with you. Including one thing that you could do here is once the record is created, if you have the table email activated, you can just chat with the person from the same card that you just have created. So that's also an option here. But I think that's a lot already. I don't know if you want to show anything more.
Just to show you, the last thing that I was talking about is that you can see here, I mean, the public link, right? Share.jestor.fun. So this is a public link. This is not logged in. And I've added a parameter here for form equals, then we have curly braces or curly brackets or braces, right? Origin, because that's the name of this field, and LinkedIn. So if I refresh the form, you're going to see that the origin is already filled with LinkedIn. And I could have, for example, a URL for LinkedIn, one for Instagram, one for your website. And then all I have to do is hide this field, right? So when the person uses the form through your website, it's going to go to your database with website selected, for example. And you don't have to do this with just one field. You could also fill out different fields for products, like Bonak said. For any other kind of information, you could have this pre-filled, and you have this attribution like set up automatically, right? So this is the last part that I wanted to show, is that just to show you guys that this lead form could also have the origin automatically through attribution.
Nice, great. So next week we'll come back at the same time with a different system that we're going to build. If you have any questions or requests, please share on the comments and we'll get back to you. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.